My name is Jeffrey Jean-Baptiste. I'm a DP Steadicam operator based out of New York. I started off not really being aware of the process, just being an only child with a VHS and just watching movies on repeat. After I dropped out of school, I became a personal assistant for a photographer. Wasn't until I started kind of doing Steadicam, through mentors. One of my friends asked me, like, how good are you getting at it? And I ended up getting offered my first Steadicam job before doing the workshop. We started Authorized Dealer Films in 2010. That was shortly before I had even worked on major film productions, and the idea was that we were gonna cut through all of this sort of phoniness. Everyone does have their niche now and is able to find their audience, but back then it was kind of more, how do the other people that are not clean and polished get their voices out there? I DP directed, edited, and colored a music video for a friend of mine that helped me restate sort of the premise of Authorized Dealer Films, of having these like really simple concepts that are slightly more cinematic than you would expect for such a low budget. Partnering with Adorama Rental Company has been amazing, because working with their dedicated account managers, I'm able to have a really thorough discussion about what our needs are, working with us on the sort of budgetary end of like what's reasonable and what they do have that can fit into the budget. It's been a blessing to have Adorama Rental Company sort of support my work. One of my first really big projects was Partisan Fontaine featuring Cardi B. And that was the first video that I shot that really had like millions of views. And the way that sort of productions happen, they're kind of like super last minute and usually under budgeted. And knowing that I had that lifeline of ARC speaks to more what kind of imagination I can have for my projects when I know I don't have to worry about where I'm gonna get the gear and how. Most recently, my exploits have allowed me to get onto the sets of Spider-Man, Morbius, and I'm really excited to keep growing. It was truly amazing to work with such a big production where, LiDAR photography is in the background. They're getting so much footage simultaneously, and I was able to be a part of the, B-roll unit that was mainly centered around Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. It was a challenge working with the Alexa 65 because of how large that camera is, but the quality of that camera is almost unmatched. And pairing that camera with the Master Primes gave us a truly clean, elevated look that allowed for all of the VFX work that they were going to be doing. Working on Morbius was actually my first time working on a Marvel project. Pretty insane, and this being sort of a darker film, the Mini LF came in really handy at sort of getting that latitude that was necessary to shoot with at night on these amazing sort of eerie rooftops that they had for us. Working on Meek Mill's Blue Notes 2 was one of the craziest music videos I've ever shot. There were close to 200 bikers on set the entire time, and I was really fortunate that ARC was able to get me 2 Mini LFs and a set of S7s, which I think heavily contributed to the look that I love a lot. And we were really able to do some amazing work using, mostly sky panels, an orbiter, and some light mats. It really helped us achieve the look we were going after. With my use of color, I try to evoke an elevated cinematic feel that's grounded in reality. And I think the combination of sky panels and the RE system allows for there to be that sort of grounded reality through contrast. In trying to match the realism of what we see in our day-to-day, we inevitably come to a place of heightened realism because it seems more like what we're used to seeing. And I think having a stronger contrast ratio between the light and dark evokes that sort of realism and brings us to suspend our disbelief even more. As much as there is a good reason to have a lot of depth, and that often does create a beautiful image, I find that I'm just drawn to the more realistic images because they're beautiful to me. I'm really excited to hear that Adorama Rental Company is acquiring the Venice 2, and I'm looking forward to bringing it onto my sets as soon as possible. It is truly amazing to shoot dual ISO. It is incredible to have so much power in such a small body, and all of the things that you can do using the module is really game-changing. My advice for anyone trying to get into cinematography or camera is to, get on as many sets as possible, be as helpful as possible, and pick the brain of the people that you're helping and get that information from them and, study, study, study. Working with Adorama Rental Company is a truly amazing experience, and I recommend them for anyone with really sophisticated projects that they're looking to endeavor on, as they do have everything that you'll need. So check them out.